did I just watch at the last part of the frickin' episode today? Now listen, one, again, sorry for getting this video out late. Usually I upload the video probably about a few minutes, or I make the video a few minutes after the episode's over. And then it's usually uploaded probably about an hour or two after this. This is probably gonna be going up late. Listen, if it wasn't for ReZero today, I would have went back to sleep. Because if you guys don't know, I recently started school, and since school for my college is online, and I do school out on the East Coast. I go to college out on the East Coast, but everything's virtual, so I'm stuck here on the West Coast, here in California. I had to get up at like legit 4:50 a.m. to get ready for class today, and then, which thank goodness is the only class for me. But then, I was just waiting for 7:30 to come so I can watch ReZero. And my goodness, this episode, dog, dude, when this is gone, I swear, oh my goodness, can ReZero just announce like, we're not gonna go on break. We'll actually keep the episodes going. When this show goes out on break till 2021, I swear, man, I'm gonna miss this show. I'm gonna miss this show because each week keeps getting better. We get revelations on what the hell the rabbits were when we find out they're essentially one rabbit that just keeps multiplying. We get an introduction to so many different witches and who they look like and stuff like that. And then Satella at the end. Okay, first things first, before I even start this review. Now, speaking about that last part, and I'll even bring it up in the last part. All I gotta say is this. If you watched the episode today already, and you didn't watch the episode with headphones on, you're doing yourself a disservice, first things first. Because I always watch all my new episodes with my headphones on. But if you watched this episode and saw the last part without headphones, go back, rewatch the episode, just skip to that direct point in time. Listen to that with headphones on. I kid you not. The surround sound on the headphones, and these are my headphones I have. My God. Which are also, my headphones when I play, my Xbox and I'm, talking to people. But, dude, the way it sounds like with headphones on sounds so creepy, and like it literally, when I was listening to this, it sent a chill down my spine because the way it's handled with the headphones on, it sounds like one side will be blocked off while this other side will, you'll hear the I love you, and it sounds like she's legit up in your ear, like right there, talking to you face to face, up on you, like how she was on at Subaru, saying I love you. That's what it sounded like. And I was like, oh my God, I got a chill down my spine, and it was freaking scary, man. Anyways, we'll talk about that at the end of the video. But if you have not seen ReZero episode 9 with the headphones on, I don't care. Get your phone, put your headphones in there, get on your Xbox, PlayStation, plug your headphones into the controller, leave the controller on, and listen to that direct part in ReZero. And I swear, if you do not get a chill down your spine, I don't know what that says, because I literally got a chill down my spine. And when she said I love you, when they blocked out only to one side of my headphones, I was like, oh my God, is she right there? Jesus. ReZero, man, they are really freaking putting their A game on here. They were like, no, we want more seasons to come. We're gonna go balls to the wall. We're gonna make sure you guys are very much pleased. Now, personally, if you ask me, for, my favorite summer anime right now is Rent-A-Girlfriend. If you haven't seen Rent-A-Girlfriend, I don't know what you're missing. That show is hilarious. Rent-A-Girlfriend right now, just from the standpoint of what I see, is my favorite anime of the summer. But honest to goodness, if Rent-A-Girlfriend ended today, I'd be like, listen, I loved Rent-A-Girlfriend, but ReZero right now is the best summer anime. And I know there's like other summer animes going on, like God of High School and stuff like that. But I'm sorry. ReZero, I'm sorry. ReZero, if we're being the general population, I personally say ReZero is the best summer anime right now. I know I said it. So if you're God of High School fans, I know. Leave dislikes in the comments. I've only watched one episode of God of High School. I actually got to catch up with that, actually. I've been slacking on that. But, yeah. Anyways, let's get into this episode. We're not talking about God of High School or Rent a Girlfriend. We're talking about ReZero, Season 2, Episode 9, where we just get a bunch of revelations here and there, as well as that post-credit scene, which seems to be interesting. Anyways, we all know where we left off. That's when we got the emotional moment between Subaru and Echidna, where everyone's now saying, oh, Echidna, best girl material. Well, I think we can also say, more than likely, she's still more best girl material here, because she's literally answering all of Subaru's questions for him. And I'm like, they're really making me become a simp for Echidna, aren't they? I think everybody's become a simp for her, to be honest. Let's be real. She's hot. And she's just adorable. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Echidna. I would have fell for you. Would have been like, could I just stay in this world with you forever, please, and thank you. Anyways, now Echidna knows that Satella is putting Subaru through all this return by death punishment and stuff like that. And Subaru even asks her, like, do you have an idea on like why she's doing this to me? And Echidna says, well, to be honest, I don't really know what Satella's thoughts are, nor do I want to even find out what her thoughts are. Now Subaru asking a very interesting question here, and which is a question that the fandom, if you don't read the light novels, have always been asking. Like, Subaru asked her, like, is there like some kind of limit on my return by death? Because this was the one thing that was always asked. Like, is there a limit to how many times he can die? Because if there is, that means he's screwed either way. Now, Echidna says, really? Like, she honestly gives her honest answer. She's like, more than likely, probably not. There's no return by death. She goes on to say, since it became a witch's delusion, as long as the delusion from Satella persists, there will be no end. So essentially making the point known, Satella kind of wants Subaru to suffer or serve some type of punishment and stuff like that. And, obviously we see that Subaru goes through all this freaking enduring this death and then, stuff like that. Because trust me, after a while, I wouldn't lie. Would it be cool, to say, oh, I died, but then I guess what? I get to come back to life? I get to have a do-over? Yeah, honestly, it sounds cool, like a really cool power to have. But after some time, you just keep constantly dying, especially if you're stuck in one predicament, over and over that keeps killing you regardless. It's like, okay, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of it and stuff like that. That's why people lead to believe, I think Satella is trying to make Subaru go insane because of dying over and over and over again. Like I said, it seems like a cool power, but even for me, I'd probably like, okay, can I stop this? If I want to die, I'd just rather die just naturally and stuff like that. Anyway, Subaru goes on to ask why he was given this power, and Echidna just is blunt and is like, well, obviously not so it's obvious, so you don't die. What else is the reason why you're not given the power? Now, this is the thing that Echidna goes on to say, because Subaru brings on the fact, like, it's just, it sucks because I can't save Rem and everything and stuff like that. And, like, if that's the case, I could have, to do all this stuff to just save her, I would do it. But then that's when Echidna says, the reason why Subaru probably can't or even couldn't save Rem was because she's not part of his destiny. And essentially that's when Echidna was talking about, like, yeah, it's probably the reason why you're probably given this to be able to have all these do-overs and stuff like that it's because of your destiny for a direct path to go to. And, and she's like, well, it seems like this girl Rem is apparently not part of your destiny. So yeah, and like I said, what I essentially got out of that part in the conversation is essentially, like I put in my notes, saying it essentially means Subaru will sometimes have to make some sacrifices to continue along this path of his destiny. So so it seems like more people he cares about might end up suffering because of it. Rem isn't gonna be the only one. There might be more people that come into Subaru's life that might get, hurt by just the things going on because of this, destiny thing, which is interesting. Hopefully he can still find some way to save her. We'll just have to find out. Now, Subaru brings up the point about the rabbits and stuff like that. Now, this was the interesting part. Now, Echidna says, "Oh, those rabbit things, yeah, that is called the Great Rabbit." Now it isn't because they're called the Great Rabbit because of size. It's called the Great Rabbit because of the numbers. As we always know, there was thousands of them last week. We get very much big, interesting revelations here. Now, the Great Rabbit is one of the 3 great mob beasts. And when I heard that, I paused the video and I literally had to walk out for a second because I could not believe it when I heard that. I'm like, that little rabbit was a mob beast. More importantly, it's one of these 3 legendary great mob beasts. I saw that, I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. So the 2 other mob beasts, or the 3 great mob beasts, are the white whale, which has already been taken care of, the black serpent, who I believe we have yet to see, and then the great rabbit, who seems like it could be the main problem of this arc, along with, I guess, the Satella thing going on. So yeah, those are the 3 great mob beasts. Now, it was a pain in the ass, if you watch season 1, to take down the white whale. They literally focus like 3, 4, 5 episodes, I believe, just to show how that thing gets taken down. We'll get into how tough the Great Rabbit is. Now, Echidna goes on to say, yeah, they were created 400 years ago by the Witch of Gluttony, Daphne, and they still bring ruin today, which we obviously know. The white whale. It was a super big issue in season 1. Heck, we were even hinted, at the fact that the white whale has done more damage, and stuff like that. Like Crucius, little butler, that it took his wife from him, and obviously we saw what happens with the Great Rabbit. Now, Echidna goes on to says that the whale is the strongest mob beast, but the rabbit is more difficult to destroy. The reason why is because the Great Rabbit sees all living things as food and desires nothing to satisfy its hunger. So essentially, it's a cannibal, essentially. Or it's like a piranha. Just a piranha on land. She makes a very interesting point because Subaru is like, well, that makes no sense. Why was there so many of them? And you're only referring to this in like one singular term. Echidna goes on to say, it also multiplies from one single one infinitely. So that explains how there was thousands of them that surrounded Subaru eating him alive. She even goes on to say that's why it's so hard to tell if you're about to kill a bee or its vitality is low or something like that. Now Echidna says to destroy the Great Rabbit, you have to kill every single one of them rabbits at the same time. That's when I was like, could we call Megumin from Konosuba over and do her explosion magic on these things and take them all out? So, heck, they're saying the Great Whale was the strongest. This one seems like it's the strongest in terms of the ability to kill this thing. Just from the standpoint, it just multiplies over and over and over again. It also reminds me of that one Spyro the Dragon mission in, I believe, Spyro 2, where you're flying around trying to kill these spider things, but if you miss one of them, they come back and multiply constantly and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, that was crazy. Now Echidna... Sorry for that. Now Echidna says to Subaru, she can try to get him to talk to Daphne. But the thing is, it's dangerous because if Subaru gets broken mentally, then he'll be shattered when going back to the real world. Essentially, he'll become like a lifeless body essentially. Um, Akina goes on to tell Subaru these rules: do not release Daphne's restraints, not to touch her, and do not look, into her eyes, or do not have, like eye to eye, eye to eye, discussion essentially, or an eye to eye like look. Even though technically in this episode, Subaru looked in her eyes, but I'm guessing as we see Daphne with her eyes covered, I'm guessing if you were to take off like I guess the thing that cover her eyes, but still, it's like Subaru definitely broke one of them because he had an eye to eye connection with her. So yeah, I'm guessing is if he took off the little thing, blocking her eyes. So yeah. Anyways, we see this one girl sitting here, and I'm like, okay, so this is Daphne, and she gets up and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, Subaru, you're already looking at her dead to face. I'm like, you're already breaking one of Echidna's rules. Two, she's like, she reaches a hand out, and I'm like, Subaru, you bet not freaking grab her. Next thing you know, his whole arm is ripped off. Now, he doesn't feel any pain whatsoever, but his whole arm is ripped off, and I'm like, she said not to touch her. Now, I thought this was, I literally thought this was Daphne, and I'm like, okay. Heck, to the point, she even makes Subaru shatter to pieces. Next thing you know, this other girl comes down and stuff like that and restores Subaru's body, which we found out that girl is Minerva, who's the Witch of Wrath. And we also find out that that girl was not Daphne, that girl was Typhoon, which I believe they said is the Witch of Pride and stuff like that. Now Daphne actually shows up, and essentially her and Subaru's she looks like she's legit stuck in a freaking coffin, a coffin that moves. You can clearly see she's locked up, so I don't want to know why she's all locked up, but apparently that must not be good. I'm guessing it's like, oh, she can eat you or something like that. Now, Subaru asks her, like, why'd you make the Mob Beast? Or essentially, way of saying, like, the reason why she made the Mob Beast, or the three great Mob Beasts, is the fact that so nobody goes hungry. Because she's a witch of gluttony. If you don't know what gluttony is, it's essentially, always eating and not having, like, hunger and stuff like that. It just relates to hunger. Now, the more Subaru asks a question about the Great Rabbit, she goes on to say the Great Rabbit relies on mana to find its prey, essentially like life force. It's drawn to places with lots of mana, which one of the places has lots of mana is the Sanctuary. They also all share the same consciousness. So that one rabbit when it multiplies will share the same consciousness as that one that you first come across. Now Subaru goes on to tell Daphne that he'll stop the three great Mob Beasts. The fact that I defeated the White Whale and I'll defeat the Great Rabbit. And Daphne kind of is like, well, you can try. You're a mere human, but you can try to defeat my creatures, which is kind of like an indirect threat to Subaru. And I'm like, so you're sounding like you're just threatening him, regardless. But then she leaves. Echidna comes back, and stuff like that. Now Echidna goes on to say that she actually does not care about Emilio taking the trial. Like she does not care about him, care about her taking the trial. She's like, listen, if she can't even overcome her little, shell or her, issue she's going through, what's the point in giving a damn about her? That's what she's essentially saying. Now, Subaru actually says he would like to see Echidna again. But she goes on to mention, well, yeah, that's fine by me. You can see me anytime you want. But the more times you see me, the more times you try to come to the witch's tea party, the rules to getting to me are going to be stricter than the last time you've seen me. Now, she goes on to tell Subaru to say, I want to know from the bottom of, I want to know, and she has to say that from the bottom of his heart, and she'll hear his call, essentially. Now, Echidna says, as he's leaving and stuff like that, or as he's about to go back into the real world and warp back into reality, she says if he comes back to the tea party, she wants to tell him something. So that's very interesting. So I would also like to know what she wants to tell him. Now, when Subaru comes back, he leaves the sanctuary. Amelia's not there. She's gone. He goes back. He leaves the sanctuary. He sees a wave of like, it's just the ground is covered in shadows. Next thing you know, this hooded figure comes out, and Subaru realizes it's the Witch of Envy, Satella. And she comes out of the shadow. She legit wraps her entire body around him, and it keeps saying, "I love you, I love you, I love you," which is the title of the episode. Again, if you haven't heard with headphones on, please do. It sends a chill down your spine because I'm telling you, it literally sounds like you're in Subaru's position, and she's like legit right next to you, saying all that stuff. That was really creepy, I will say. Now, when it looked like, she was going to take Subaru with her or something like that, Garfield shows up and saves Subaru. So Garfield does something good. So I'm guessing we're getting good Garfield here in this return by death situation and stuff like that. Now, Garfield questions, like, where the hell is she going? And Subaru thinks about it for a second. He thinks of Petra, Ram, and stuff like that. And that's when he's like, she's headed to Roswell's mansion and stuff like that. So they're going to have to stop Satella from going to Roswell's mansion. Now we get a post-credit scene where Roswell is in the bedroom he's in. The darkness surrounds him. And the next thing you know, he comes out with this book. I wonder, is that the other missing copy of the book that was revealed last week? I know I forgot what the book was, but I wonder, is that the other copy of the book? That would be very interesting. Now Roswell's holding the book, and he's getting consumed. And in the moment before he says consumed, he's getting consumed, he says, "Hopefully you don't make another mistake, Natsuki Subaru." So he knows about return by death, I think. I think he knows by return by death. It's not an exact confirmation, but it feels like after seeing this, I'm like, oh, I think he knows that Subaru has returned by death. Now, the whole Satella thing, also, we do not see no Ram, or no Amelia, or no Otto, or no Ryuma. We don't know where they're at. So, regardless, we'll probably find that in maybe next week or the weeks to come. Now, okay. Now, this is just a speculation. This is just speculation. I wonder, what if that isn't Satella? What if it's Echidna? Now, I could still be wrong. That could be Satella, but I just don't. Who knows? Like I said, still in the back of my head, it's like I trust Echidna for what she's done in the past couple of weeks. But at the same time, there's just a speaking suspicion in the back of my head where it's like, I don't know if we can still trust her. So I wonder, what if that's not Satella because she's hooded you see the hood. They don't show her face. I wonder, what if that's not Satella? What if that's actually Echidna in the real world who's doing all this? That would be a plot twist out of the ages, bro. And stuff like that. Heck, it's like when they show, I'm kidding you, when they show in the opening and the endings for ReZero, you just see one side that's lit up, but one other side that's dark, knowing that, oh, she has a darker side to her. Now, for now, like I said, it seems like we can trust her. But I would not be shocked if she pulls the hood and Subaru sees Echidna, and he's like, "Why are you doing this?" And she gives her reason for why she's doing this. But still, it could be, like I said, it could be Echidna, but more than likely, probably is Satella. So, what if Satella's doing this? Because maybe she apparently loves Subaru, and she's putting through all this punishment for Subaru because she loves Subaru in some sort of insane sort of way. Who knows? But this episode was really good. I enjoyed it, and I can't wait for next week. I don't know when this first half of the season is going to end. My ideal thing is maybe episode 12 or 13 or something like that. We'll just have to find out. But yeah, things are getting freaking crazy. Things are getting crazy. Also, I don't think if you picked on up, I think now I'm picking it up. The thing is this: if they don't show the opening they play the ending. But if they don't play the ending, or they play the opening, we're not going to get an ending. I will just say this. I think I might actually have to listen to the freaking ending of ReZero Season 2, because, Jesus, the ending of ReZero Season 2, it's honestly legit great to listen to. Like, my goodness. Other than that, guys, I'm going to get out of here. So if you guys liked the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on everything that was revealed here, as well as hit the subscribe button to get more ReZero Season 2 content. So till then, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully you guys are having a great rest of your day, as well as people who are, having school stuff. So hopefully you guys are staying safe and stuff like that. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Still then, guys, peace.